Alright guys, today we're going to be sandblasting. You can see I got my little sandblaster here. Already started. See on the back side, already done that part. Now we're going to be sandblasting right here. Alright, so check it out. I am done sandblasting the tailgate. Just to give you an idea. Man, these vinyl stickers are something else. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get those off. It's crazy. If you're wondering about my setup, I just have one of these Vevor sandblasting tanks. Comes with the hose. I did upgrade the sandblasting gun off Amazon just because the old one was a piece of junk. Excuse my language. Comes with a water separator right here, so you take pressure off of it, it drains the water down. Engage and everything. It's not a bad setup for a DIY hobbyist. I did get a sandblasting hood from Harbor Freight. It's pretty good, a lot better than the one that came with this. The one that came with this is like this paper thing, and it was horrible. But this hood from Harbor Freight is actually pretty good. It's pretty damn hot, but I would expect any hoods for sandblasting to be pretty hot. For sandblasting material, I'm using this coal slag stuff. I mean, Black Diamond. You can get this from Tractor Supply. I'm sure others sell it too, but the main place I get is from Tractor Supply here in town. It's a 50 pound bag. The thing with this is, I'm pretty sure most car guys are going to scream and yell at this. I don't think you're supposed to use this kind of stuff for sandblasting auto material. But I do have the walnut stuff in these bags. And let me just tell you, that's going to take freaking forever. That walnut stuff might be gentle on metal, but it's also gentle on paint. It is not happy trying to remove paint off of materials, so that's why I'm going with that coal stuff. It works a lot better. Now the only thing with the coal stuff, you can hear this, is leaves a pretty rough surface, which personally I think that's perfect for primer and stuff. It's definitely going to latch on to this metal a lot easier, as long as this rough texture doesn't flow through the primer, which I don't think it will, because although it's rough, I am using the fine, which is the red bag. I'm using the fine coal stuff, so it doesn't leave like a real deep groove in there, so I think the primer will get in there pretty good. Now all this stuff I've already removed. As you can see, it's down to bare metal. I use a grinder on this stuff. You can see that this truck has a history of somebody working on it, because that's primer and not primer, filler. Those are different fillers over the years. Real heavy in this area, and as I was clearing it off, it's definitely got a lot of fill in, so I'm pretty sure this is all dented from the past. Yeah, I know you can't see it in the camera, but this is a big dent right here, so I'm gonna have to refiller all this and make it smooth again. But I wanted to start from zero, even if I did have to redo somebody's work, which it looks like I will, just so I know for a peace of mind what was going on. This right here, I'm not sure what that's about. I think what it is this was probably originally all painted green, but then somebody came back with some kind of like truck bed material or something, because you can see where the fender is set. I haven't sandblasted this or anything yet, and it's just sitting on top of the frame. I've already unbolted it, that's why it looks all funky, but I'm pretty sure somebody just put some kind of truck liner or some kind of thing that they thought would protect it underneath there to make it look a little bit better maybe, but now you can see it's actually allowed the rust to come in pretty good, so we're gonna have to sandblast that. This is the compressor I'm using for this. It's a Craftsman. If you followed my last episodes, you saw that I rebuilt this guy, the pistons and everything, and this thing is operating great. I can pretty much sandblast non-stop. You definitely notice though whenever your pressure stays around like the 90 mark rather than like the 125, because you just have less volume of sand coming out, or at least it's less effective. Maybe the same volume but less effective, less velocity, but you can pretty much sandblast non-stop, which is exactly why I wanted to buy this one off of Facebook Marketplace and rebuild it. You can also see I do have the engine out of this thing. I will say this thing is freaking heavy. Some guys have told me that this is actually heavier than like a 350 small block or an LS, and I was pretty skeptical of that. But everything on here is pretty much iron. The block's iron, the head's iron, everything. And this engine stand I used to rebuild my 302 and a 68 Mustang I used to have, and this thing did it no problem. But I can tell you right now, this thing is struggling to hold this up. That's why I got some 2x4s just to kind of assist in the front. As you can see, the tabs are kind of bending that way. I mean, this sucker is freaking heavy. And this piece right here, the bell housing, good night, it's heavy. But to be fair, it does have the original starter on it, so that could be a lot of the reason why. Back to the tailgate. Man, the sandblasting took the paint off pretty easily enough, but these vinyl stickers, holy cow, man, they are tough. You see, they won't even budge. Lana is taking her fingernail and try to get some of this off. Look at that, pretty much will not budge the stickers. That's pretty crazy right there. We are going to be sandblasting the nose now. I've already done some of it, but I'll show you sandblasting some of the nose, and then we'll probably call it a day, because I'm on my third bag of sandblasting material in the tank over here, and that's all I got. So it's a good stopping point, because I feel like I'm overheated a little bit with this hood and just the hot weather. So let's sandblast what we can on this nose before we run out of sand, and we'll go from there. Alright, so we got most of it done. You can see, and not most of it, about half of the nose done. And then I ran out of sand. You can see the only thing about sandblasting is it leaves sand everywhere. So I got 3 acres here. Luckily it's not a big deal for me. In fact, I just added material to the ground, so that's fine. But tell me guys what you think. Is this worth doing yourself? Because I've gone through about 3 bags today, done half of a nose, did the whole tailgate front and back, and that's about all I got done. They're about $10 a piece, the bags, maybe $8 if you're lucky. So is this worth doing yourself, or should I just pay someone to come out here? I kind of like doing everything myself, so that's tend to be where I lean, but you guys tell me, what do you think? Looking at the nose, I'd be curious to see what you guys think. So this is obviously cleared off material. This is the ocean green, or whatever they call it. I think it's ocean green, seafoam green. I think it's ocean green. You guys can correct me in the comments, you always do. So here's like sandblasting material. Here, so I can see primer. And then there's a lot of white and brown. This brown is not rust, that's like brown paint. And then there's this white. You know, is this paint? Is this some kind of epoxy? I don't know, but man, that white stuff is really hard to get off. Gives me to believe it's some kind of like white epoxy primer. Maybe that's original, I don't know. The brown kind of throws me off a little bit. You know, and then you got spots of gray and green. I don't know, this front nose is interesting. Kind of leads me to believe this may not be the original nose, but who knows. By the way, apologize for the audio and the video quality, but I am using one of my old action cameras. It's called a SJ7 Star by SJ Cam. Video quality is actually pretty decent. I'm sure the audio quality is pretty horrible, just because the reason why I'm using this case is because I have a protective case for it. I knew sandblasting material would be coming back and hitting the lens on it, so I wanted to protect it. Plus I wanted to use a camera I didn't care much about. Charlotte, checking out my progress. Anyway, so sorry for the quality, but I wanted to get some action shots for you, and I hope you don't get too mad about it. Whew. You can see I'm about to die out here, heat exhaustion. It's probably in the mid 90s, upper 90s right now in Texas already. Southeast Texas that is. So I'm out here wearing a freaking sandblasting hood, no circulation in the heat. The Harbor Freight one does have a port in the back. It looks like a airline or something, you know, for fresh air, but I don't know what I would run it off of. The compressor? It seems like too much pressure. So I don't know, but anyways, we're gonna have to wrap up today because I'm out of sand and I'm ready to watch the NASCAR race. So hope you guys enjoyed this short video of sandblasting a little bit on the truck, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.